Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Team Next Generation Team Call Wednesday night. It is December 14th, and as always, I appreciate you guys being here, taking the time out of your busy schedules. So today I'm going to jump right in, and this is going to definitely be a call where I'm looking for feedback as well. So I'm going to throw out some ideas, and then at the end, anybody that's got any feedback on it, I think I would love to hear and get your guys' opinions and ideas so that we can share it. This is definitely a video I'm going to be posting on the team page, obviously, because I think it's going to help a lot of people kind of round out the end of this year and get set up as well for January. So here's what happens, or here's what can happen, guys. It's very easy to push this month and then not really kind of lay back on the idea of next month, because January and February, it's the first of the year, it's New Year's resolution, it's all the great stuff, and fitness is huge and everybody's going to want it, so I'm not really worried about it, right? It's easy to kind of sit back and not stress it. And the fact of the matter is, last year I was surprised. Last year was surprisingly, January was a rough month. It wasn't what we expected it to be. And part of that isn't because fitness wasn't around, and it isn't because people aren't into fitness. It's because we did not plan appropriately and set ourselves up to be successful from December so that we were ready moving into January. So this can't be just 100% about getting set up in December and having a great month. This has also got to be proactive thinking, pushing us into January and February. So hopefully I can help kind of reverse engineer what we've got going on January. I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea. Hey, look, this is what we're going to do. Deanna, I'm going to be... So I haven't shown this to Deanna. We haven't talked today. She hasn't seen it. So with that said, after we're all done, at the end, I would love to hear you interject and give your thoughts on it as well, because I'm just kind of throwing these in here. But what I wanted to do with you guys tonight is I wanted to basically say, look, we absolutely have a health bet, a great opportunity that's starting in January. So how do we reverse engineer this month to make up and get ready for that particular event and to really set us up for January? Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Okay. So anyways, so what do we know? What we know is that the health bet starts January 9th. And goes through February 5th. So these are the dates that we know. It starts on the 9th and goes through the 5th. Okay, we know that, hold on one second, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why okay, hold on one second, Nicole, I apologize. I'm gonna try to start your video. I don't know why it said I stopped your video, that's weird. Ask to start video. I've never had that happen before. There it goes. That is really weird. I don't know what happened. Okay, so what we know, like I said, is that it starts on the 9th and it ends on February 5th. We also know that it starts this time. Last time it started with $1 million pot. This time it's starting with a $2 million pot. Okay, so we already know that we're kind of ahead of the game. And we also know that for every challenge pack sold between now and the end of this year, so December 31st, they're going to add $5 to that pot. All these things are great, and all these things are great for one major purpose. First of all, when you're talking about the health bet, people that have been in it or that you're talking to, some of them, Gianna's got this, we got this, will ask, well, hey, yeah, I heard about this health bet. You guys did one like this before. How much did you make? Right? This is a question that will come up, and that is absolutely, it's a great question. And I say, absolutely be honest with them and tell them exactly what you made on it, but also let them understand that this time is going to be different, because it's all depending on who's going to be involved, how many people are involved in it. And they're starting the pot at a much higher level this time. So it's all going to be different, but just heads up, you're probably going to get that question, so you kind of know how to scale that question and tackle it, just so you guys know. We also know with it starting on January 9th, we all want to try in a perfect world to have everybody be ready and set up by the January 2nd, which is that Monday, right? Or the Wednesday before, sorry, January 2nd. So that's going to give them just enough time to get their stuff in the mail prior to the actual start of it, and that's going to be cutting it close a little bit. Obviously, can people order after that? Absolutely, people can join it whenever, but they have a certain amount of time. They're kind of nailed down because it's a health bet. It is time sensitive, right? So we need to be aware that that is the time that we don't. That's kind of a cutoff. That is the, hey guys, last call. This is when it needs to happen. So let's see here. Okay, so what I've done is I've created, starting with tomorrow, I've literally created posts, and I'm gonna walk you guys through this. So if you don't, hopefully maybe I can talk to Deanna later on. She's a much faster typer. Maybe I can talk her later on into actually typing this up so we can send it and put it in the team page. But I'm gonna run you guys through it now. I've literally created posts like what I'm gonna post about every single day up from now until that Wednesday, so that I can give you guys ideas. Because here's the deal. The way we're gonna set ourselves up is obviously through reaching out, starting conversations with people, and inviting people. Obviously, those are gonna be the best foundations for what are going to create something that we have to work with and getting people transitioned into health tech. That's all great, but we also need to be sharing, and we need to be actively, and we need to be specifically sharing kind of from a strategic standpoint online, getting people ready and kind of prepped to dive into something like the health bet right after the beginning of the year. So we don't want to kind of take it lightly. So I've got a lot of stuff in here. I started from the very end, from the day of, and I worked backwards to figure out what do people need to know, when do we need to do specific posts every day so that we can get the appropriate information out at the appropriate time. These are ideas. I think a lot of new coaches, and a lot of old coaches, myself included, can sometimes struggle with, okay, well, I know I need to post about fitness, but what do I post about? How do I share fitness? Right now, I think it's extra kind of important, if you will. I shouldn't say it's extra important because it's always important, but we have an opportunity right now that we can kind of scale back and say, okay, we've got a great health bet that's going to start. That's awesome. Now, what do I do every single day? So to make it a little bit easier for you guys, I figured out some kind of keys, and hopefully this will help you guys out. So starting tomorrow, basically, I'm going to post about what the accountability groups have done for me. So here's what people are wondering is, we know that the difference between us and any other option that people have, the main component that separates us from just buying a Beachbody program, just working out, just going to the gym, just doing whatever, are the accountability groups. It's what we have to offer through those accountability groups and through helping people with that accountability. But a lot of people out there don't recognize the value in that yet, because they don't understand it. They haven't been around it. They're not really sure what an accountability group is, especially when we call them challenge groups. They have no idea what that is, right? Unless they've been around them or heard a lot about them before. Most people don't. So I'm going to share exactly, well, yeah, great. Accountability groups are great. People are there. Yay. They're like high-fiving each other. But that doesn't, why? What has it done for you? Why does it make me show up? Why does it help me? How did it help me get specific results? So I'm going to start tomorrow by just sharing, okay, the accountability groups, why is that important? On Friday, I'm going to start by shouting out a challenger. Now, if you guys don't have a specific challenger in your group or in a previous group right now that got great results, so that you can shout out and kind of just give them a high five, virtual high five, reach out to your coach, reach out to Deanna and I. We have people, even if it's your coach that you're shouting out and saying, hey, did you see this? Almost all of us at some point have shared before and after photos, have shared progress photos. So that's a great option for you to, hey, I'm going to shout this person out. And even if it has nothing to do whatsoever with health or fitness transformations, like physical transformations, it can be, hey, I spoke to this person, and when we first talked, they had a real hard time with X. But I want to give them a huge shout out because they have found a way through this group to do this, this, and this, and this, whatever that looks like, the opposite of that, right? To get past that. That is basically like, however you want to do it, that's what we're trying to do, is just give them a high five. And it just lets people recognize, like, oh, you know, people are in this group, they're having a good time and they're getting changes. And it isn't always they're losing weight or they're gaining muscle or whatever. Sometimes that's not always what people are looking for. Sometimes it's just getting outside of their own head and getting a little bit less like insecure about certain things, or a little bit more confident. Maybe that's the change they're looking for. So you're shouting somebody out, and that's what's going to register in with people. So just keep in mind, Friday I'm doing a shout out as far as for a challenger goes. Saturday, I'm going to talk about how the program specifically and how the challenge groups have been a game changer for me. Now, I personally was in the gym forever, right? So a lot of guys that I'm talking to, and everybody's going to be different, right? Whatever it was for you, however it changed you, whatever bonus you've received from it, whatever benefits you've achieved from challenge groups and the program specifically in this post, you're sharing that, because guess what? you're talking to people like you. So the people you're talking about more often than not are going to have the same concerns that stem from the same issues that you had previously. So for me, going to the gym, busting my butt, still not getting the results, hey, I just got lucky that I got talked into by Deanna doing this program, but this is what I figured out in the program, and this is why it's been such a game changer for me. And hey, guess what? Now I'm finally getting the results that I wanted that I couldn't get 16 years in the gym. So a quick talk about why the programs are functioning for you and what your benefit is from it. We're not talking about coaching here. We're purely focusing on just the challenge groups. Sunday, we're gonna go live, and I chose Sunday night specifically for this because I feel that Sunday night for Deanna and I at least is when we get the most traction. Sunday evening around 7 or 8 is when people really start to be on, really seem to be online and kind of like focused on just kind of relaxing, and they're getting ready for work and the days died down. So whatever time it is for you guys that you get the most traction, that's the time to do this. But Sunday we're gonna go live, okay, and do a live explanation of the health bet. This is gonna be our very first real dive into. Deanna and I did it last time when we were in Mexico, and it was fantastic. You're just talking about what the health bet's all about. You're explaining it. You're sharing your excitement for it, and you can do a quick call to action. Hey, if you guys are interested or if you want to learn more about this, don't hesitate. Comment below, send me a private message, like this post, and I'm happy to give you more information. A post like that. But we're going live, and that'll be on Sunday. Monday, I'm doing a post literally about why did I start Beachbody? Like why, not as a coach, but as a program, why did I even decide to do this? Again, it's another post that's related to fitness, guys, but it's talking more about like, you're having people like guaranteed right now, if you're inviting, those people are having objections. Almost everybody has an objection at first, right? They don't understand the value. That's the point of what we do, is to add that value for them, right? Well, all we're doing with a post like that is we're hitting those objections in the face without outwardly hitting them in the face. We're just flat out saying, I already know the problems that you have, the objections you're having. Me would have been, I don't do at-home DVDs, right? So it's like, I don't do at-home workouts. I've already got a better one. And so for me, it's the minute I start talking about, oh, but even though I don't do these, I decided to do this because I wanted Deanna to get into fitness. So therefore I did it with her thinking I would bounce after 2 weeks, and results kept me there. It's those kinds of things, but you're taking one of the immediate and probably the largest, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm talking about. We're the largest setback when people say, no, objection. Oh my gosh, I could not come up with that. The largest objection, and you're just kicking it out right off the bat. You're just acknowledging that that was your objection as well without saying so, and letting people know like, hey, I had that objection too, and this is why it's been such a game changer for me, and this is why I love what I do. Okay, and you can talk about what it is in that post. You can talk about what it is that your coach, like, how did your coach talk to you about it that made you change your mind, right? So for me, we actually didn't have that, but for some of us, it was literally where like somebody said something to you. What was it that they said? For me, it was Deanna, like I said, just asking me to do it with her, and I was like, okay. But for some of you, it might have been like, hey, Jessica finally talked me into it by this, and thank God she did, because this is what I found, right? Or I saw Jessica say this, and thank God because this is what I found. So that's what I'm doing on Monday. Tuesday, Transformation Tuesdays are really easy. Again, if we can share transformations from our own challenge groups or our team challenge groups, those are the best to share when we can. So that's something that I need to work on. I have a tendency to go to Team Beachbody and pull those, especially because I'm trying to do a men's group right now. So I pull the men's transformations, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you can get literal photos, transformation photos of the actual groups that people have been in this particular team, or like our upline team, then great, because those are people that we actually like, hey, this is how we have helped. This is people in our groups. We can use those words. I think those words are powerful, right? Our groups, not just the program. This is what our group has done. I love this. What an awesome transformation. She did so amazing. Especially if you have a personal connection with the person, you can tag them. That's phenomenal. But Transformation Tuesdays. Wednesday is just really simple. It's just, quick 3-move video, like whatever program you're doing right now, quick 3 moves, little video, and just done, right? Just a real simple thing showing 3 moves that you like. Each one of these is just talking. Really what we're doing is we're focusing heavily on giving people stuff about fitness and health and about the challenge groups without being completely redundant and without being just about, hey, this is what I did today. right? So we're talking really trying to build the value of what we're doing throughout every single day this month. But also, guys, remember that these are all one post of the day. So there's 3 posts at minimum or 5. The other 2, this takes out the difficulty of figuring out, hey, I got to this health and fitness post. How do I do this? What do I say? Well, here you go. The rest of it is just about you and your life and just being a normal person, so that we don't flood your feed so much with just fitness, just fitness, just fitness, just fitness, just fitness, and just health, that it seems like people are like, okay, that's all you ever post about. I'm almost over it. It's like their minds go numb to it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Thursday, an actual invite, like a literal call to action invite group post, not live. This one will literally be just, I'm going to do just a photo and a standard written invite. The reason we're not going live on this particular one is because Diana made a really good point the other day, which was some people don't watch the live stuff, even though it gets more traction because more people see it in their notifications. People don't always have time to watch through it, right? So double up and having those some that are written, some that are live, you know, those kinds of differences. That way you kind of at least know that people are seeing, or more people are seeing it. And yeah, that's just gonna be a straight call to action invite post. So Friday, so the day after that, Friday, I'm gonna do a quick video just sharing real quickly how the container system works. The reason I'm doing that, and the reason I put that there is because we're kind of a lot of these posts are to build value in the actual groups and what you get with the program, without just taking one day and saying, guys, I'm unboxing, here's what you get with the program, which I've done before, right? But here's what you get. So it's kind of hitting all the little points of why these groups are so effective and why the programs are so effective, but without doing it all at once, so people just, one person saw it and that's it. Each individual aspect might hit an entirely different audience, if that makes sense. So just sharing the container systems and how much simpler that is, especially like if you thought like I did that the containers are stupid, I don't need that. Like I get portion control. I don't need it. And then find out like those things are really kind of handy, right? That's great to share, right? Share that, use that, and let other people know. And you're sharing value too, right? And you know, people can grab those containers inexpensive. Like that's a cheap little thing. If they, you know, like even if they're like, I don't really want to do Beachbody, but they're like, but those containers are kind of slick. You know, I'd like to have one of those just for, you know, just for portion control. They can pick those up, right? So it's something that they can grab very easily, a little stocking stuffer, whatever. Maybe even throw it out there as, hey, a stocking stuffer, you know, whatever. But just sharing the value and exactly how those function and why they're important and what you like about them. That I think is the key on that particular post. That Saturday, which is the 24th, this post is going to be a little bit longer, and you guys are really going to have to think about this. And honestly, this is something I think that you should think about before you make any of these posts. This post is basically your mission statement. So now you're going to be telling people, look, I'm not even talking to you about putting you in a group or talking about the health bet or talking about I'm talking about why I do what I do and who I want to help. Okay. So why is it that you're even coaching? What is changing your life? Who do you want to help never feel like that, never have that issue, overcome that obstacle, whatever it looks like? Who do you want to help? And you're going to be very, very, very specific on this. And for a lot of reasons, one, this is a post for us just as much as it's for anybody else, because it is going to force us to really dive back into it and say, beyond who am I talking to? What is my real mission? Like, why am I here? What am I doing this for? Like, yeah, I get it. We all want to, you know, X, Y, and Z, right? But what we want out of the business and who we're trying to help, they're two separate things. So we've got to recognize that, you know, hey, I want these things from this, but I'm going to achieve them by helping a certain kind of person, somebody very focused, a very focused group, achieve whatever it is that I want to help them achieve. So put that in your mind and write a post about it. And to be honest, I have not done a post like that yet, period. In 2 years, I have not spoken specifically and said, guys, this is why I'm doing this and this is who I want to help. I've done a lot of small posts that kind of talk about that in individual parts, but never as just one kind of meat and potatoes, here it is. So that'll be Saturday. It also kind of allows people to relate to you a little bit more because you're being honest and saying, hey, look, you know, I'm not just here to sell you some freaking program. Like, that's not my goal at all. I'm here because this is what I struggled with, and I want to make sure that nobody else struggles with this, right? Or this is what I've learned, and I want to help other people learn that. So that's kind of what that's all about. Sunday, again, live, again on Sunday, because it's the day that I tend to get the most traction. So Sunday evening, live. And It's going to be, sorry, I just lost that. It's going to be again about the health group or the health bet and the challenge group. And it's going to be again an open invite, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. Quick explanation, right? We've already explained it once, so this is going to be another quick explanation, but it's also going to be sharing the excitement, because by this time, if you are doing your invites and you're having your conversations and you're talking to people about it, you're going to have people that are going to be excited about starting, especially considering it starts on the 9th, right? On the 9th or whatever day it starts, the 9th. Correct, the 9th. So there are, hey, perfect timing right after the holidays, right when I want to get started, yay. So in this post, you can also share the excitement about all the people that are already committed, ready to go, looking forward to it. You can't wait to start this group. It's going to be so much fun. So many people are going to get such great results, and you're just jacked about it. And guys, hey, you know what? It's going to be a serious group, and there is a time limit on this. So we need to make sure that people, are on board pretty soon. So the ticker is ticking down. So let's get this going. And you can give them a date if you want. That's your thing, your call. I tend to not give people specific dates. You need to be done by this time. However, in this particular situation, I think that could be beneficial. But nonetheless, so that's for Sunday, the 25th. Monday, another shout out to a challenger. So it's another thing. You're sharing again how these accountability groups are actually being beneficial to other people, what they're learning and getting from these. Tuesday, another Transformation Tuesday. So the first shout out doesn't have to be about transformation. Tuesday is about helping people or how people have been helped. And then Wednesday, another invite, but not a live feed, just an invite post. So it's just a written call to action invite. Thursday, because the only thing that we haven't really hit on yet, this will be Thursday the 29th, so we're catching up to the end here, is going to be a quick video about Beachbody On Demand. Literally like showing what it is, showing why I love it, what it's got to offer, all those great things. But it's going to be a quick little tutorial, not like a breakdown, this is how it functions, but just this is all the great stuff, so people know, because a lot of people have no idea what Beachbody is, let alone what On Demand is. And some people think that the only way they can actually do one of the programs is if they have a DVD. And for some people, that doesn't work. Some people are like, I want to go to the gym, but I'm not going to take my DVD player to the gym. Like, weird. I don't know why that wouldn't look cool. But, some people out there, they just don't know, right? Because we assume that we're in this world and everybody knows what we know. That's not true. A lot of people have no idea that they can stream it to this thing, put it in their ear, and do a workout at home like normal, or at the gym like normal. So that alone can be a little bit of information that turns somebody goes, oh, I didn't know that. Well, now I'm in. And then Friday, so we're like at the end game right now, okay? Friday the 30th is like people need to be ready to go by the following Wednesday, which is only a few days away. So Friday, I'm going to share what you've learned about nutrition since you started. So 3 quick things that I've learned about nutrition specifically. I thought I ate healthy. I thought I knew this. What I have learned are these 3 things, and there's just a quick bullet point. You can do a video, you can do, a text or whatever, whatever works and is simple for you. And then Saturday is really simple. It's just, a matter of what's the hardest part of working out that you found? Like, what are you doing to overcome it, right? Like, man, the hardest part of working out for us was just getting to work out, right? Like, hey, it's really easy to say, I'm going to work out after work. But guess what? It's really easy to get off to work and be like, it's late. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. So the hardest part was actually setting a time at 4 a.m., getting up and doing it. However, this is what we've done to do it. You set your alarm and you make it happen for us. I mean, like, there's not a lot to fill in there, but we can figure things out to fill in. But the point is, you're figuring something out that you had an issue with, and then you're figuring out how you overcame that, right? And what you're doing for it so that people, and again, you're talking about an objection there. So people are going to say, I don't have space. If you didn't have space to work out, or if you didn't have time to go to the gym or whatever, right? Or if you didn't have whatever it was, you figure out that objection, and then you're telling people how you've gotten over that objection. And that's basically what that's all about. It's just another objection up front, but live so everybody sees it, or I mean, not live, but on a grand scale so everybody sees it. And then the last one, Sunday the 1st, is going live, and it's basically, again, it's another Sunday, it's evening, and it's a live post all about, look, this group is about full. There's only a couple spots left. It is last call. I've got to make this happen. There's only a few, like I said, there's only a few spots ready to go. It's going to be super fun. Here's a quick breakdown. If you have not seen what's going on yet, this is what's going on. Wednesday is the cutoff time. We've got to have everybody ready to start on Monday. So they've got to be, ready to get everything submitted on Wednesday. It's going to be amazing. And again, if you want information, post below, comment, send me a private message. Super simple. But I'm telling you right now, we're at last call right now. So just so you guys know. And that's literally step by step how we're going to walk it back from the last Sunday before that Wednesday. Walk it every single day through there. And then obviously during that time is going to be the standard invites and reaching out to people. And if you're doing nothing else, if you're at least doing those things, then at least we know that we're talking to people on a day-to-day basis. So that should make it really simple. You don't have to think about it, but there's a lot of strategy actually. And when those posts are timed, what days. Now, with that said, all of that, I know that's a lot of information. And yes, again, I'll have Gianna try to type that up so that we can add it in. Does anybody have anything to add to that? Gianna, what do you think as far as the schedule goes?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of noisy in here, but no, it's good. I'm visual, so I need to visually see it because I kind of, me, I tune out.
Yeah.
I love you, but I kind of tune out because I'm like, so much information. But no, I think it's great to have a strategy of what you're going to do and really find out when people connect with you best. Because there definitely is a strategy to posting on certain days and posting on certain times and things like that. Because I was actually thinking about making a post and just saying, hey, when does everybody go on Facebook? I'm just really curious, but it will be for information, hey, are you an AM Facebook checker? Are you a lunchtime Facebook checker? Or are you a PM, when kids go to bed with a glass of wine? And I figured that it would be really insightful to see what time their attention goes to. But no, I think it's really important to have a plan, have a date, have a goal, and then, like you said, reverse engineer it. Because I've shared with some of you that I typically, and whenever they throw out health bets and all these new programs, it really throws me for a loop because then I have to readjust my schedule. Because what I typically do is I always start my challenge groups on the third week of every month. And so the first week of every month, I run a 5-day free group. And so those people I am able to kind of build a relationship with, show them the value of an accountability group, then it gives them 2 weeks to, purchase if they're interested. Oh, kids are home? But, so I always reverse engineer. And so last month I was talking to people that I wanted to join this month. I was making posts, not for, hey, I've got a challenge group coming up in a week, but hey, I've got a challenge group coming up soon, which is in 3 weeks. So I'm building value last month to fill up this month's challenge group, if that makes sense. So it's always taking a little bit of forethought and pre-planning and pre-thinking. I'm thinking, I don't know. Sorry, I'm so distracted. I feel like I've got OCD big time with all the lights and people moving around me. It's weird. I guess a bar is not the best place to have a team call. But I'm having fun. Anyways, but no, I think it's really, really, really good. And one other thing I wanted to add to that is the importance of having conversations and having not always rushing to Beachbody, because odds are if you build that value, you build that relationship, because I know it's really frustrating because you're at what point do I invite them? Whenever it's natural, sometimes they might ask you oh, I see you're doing this, this whole thing. What is this that you do? Or if they don't, then you can kind of hey, what do you do for fun? Or, da 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 da. But really building that value, because even if it doesn't go to Beachbody, I guarantee you they're going to go and they're going to Facebook stalk you. They're going to be like, what's this new chick that I don't know? What is she all about? Let me see. And then they might start liking things. You'll notice, because you took an interest in them and what they're doing. They're going to start liking your stuff. So then you're going to build a relationship with that way. So I know because I did this in the very beginning where I'm I've got to invite people right away. That's what I got to do. But once I'm I gave myself grace and I gave myself, hey, it's truly about building a relationship that, I'm going to be nurturing this relationship. So when they actually are ready, they're going to kick butt because they're going to trust me. They're going to trust what I say. They're going to follow through more. one other thing, sorry, and I'm kind of going off topic, but a couple other things I wanted to share is, like, have you guys, I'm sure you probably haven't, it's probably just me, had a challenger in your group that you thought was going to do awesome, and for whatever reason they just kind of go AWOL, and you reach out to them and they don't respond to you. Then you reach out to them again, hey, just checking in, see how you're doing. They don't respond to you. Then you reach out again, hey, I'm just checking in, like your friendly neighborhood stalking coach lady. Has anybody experienced that? Just me? Nobody's had that? Everybody responds to all? Okay. So, because I've experienced it a lot. I can't say it a lot, but like people will be all gung-ho and they'll join my group and they'll either like show up like rock stars the first week and then they'll kind of die off. And a lot of times in the beginning, I would think it was me, like, what am I doing, or why are they ignoring me? And just recently, and I feel like it's on purpose, that I found that you can never assume. Like, there's two specific people in my current challenge, or the challenge group that just ended. One lady never responded back to me, but I would look. She was on Facebook. It's like, that's really weird. What was she doing? Like, she's local. She talked about joining CrossFit. She had been in CrossFit previous, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe she's back into CrossFit. So I reached out to her like 3-4 times. I'm like, hey, you might be doing CrossFit again. That's totally cool. You know, I just want to know how I can help you. Nothing. Reach out to her again. Hey, I'm just stalking you. You know, I hope I'm not bugging you. Third time, hey, you know, if I'm totally bugging you, totally let me know. You know, that's not my intention. Nothing. I ran into her at the mall for the first time ever. Never met her before. And she's like, oh my gosh, my phone like reset and I lost everything and I'm not techie and I didn't realize that I had to have Messenger. And then I'm like, oh, I've been messaging you this whole time. She goes, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. So she didn't, you know, it was totally innocent. It wasn't that she was ignoring me. And then I have another one that reached out to her again 3-4 times. And she just responded back to me yesterday. She goes, thanks for checking up on me. I'm sorry. She's going through, like, she just found out that she's, you know, potentially having cervical cancer. And so she was just trying to kind of put all that together in her mind. And she really actually thanked me for continuing to reach out to her, even though she wasn't very present in the group and present in responding back to me. I really let her know that I cared. And so I just want to share that when people aren't responding back to you, you don't know what they're going through. They might have lost their phone. They might have dropped it in the toilet. They might just say, oh, I have every intention, but then they open it and it looks red and then they forget about it. Like, it happens to all of us. So I just kind of wanted to share that. Like, when you get frustrated when people aren't responding, don't assume. Don't always go to the negative spot because you really don't know. So that was my little 2 cents that I've learned this week. So
absolutely. So the point of this really, guys, is just because, you know, it's that whole idea. If you come into plan, if you fail a plan, you plan to fail. Hold on 1 second. Okay. You know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Because if we're just like, it can be confusing, or it can be even sometimes frustrating, especially as a new coach, to figure out what to post when and why, right? And how to share that journey effectively. And you put that aside and then take into consideration the idea of, look, now I'm trying to be proactive to actually post for a specific challenge group coming up at a certain time, and recognize that there is a way to strategically do that. Because our point with all of this is, look, we're here to help as many people as we can help. But we have to understand that a lot of people don't know what we do. They don't know what it's all about. And they're a lot of times hesitant just because it's different from what they've been doing, or it's maybe they've heard something, or maybe they saw, you know, we also have to take into consideration, guys, that there's a lot of, and unfortunately, and I seriously, like, if I see anybody on this team doing it, I swear I'm going to be screaming at somebody, and I'm so over it. There's a lot of coaches out there that, and there's so many new coaches. Beachbody is getting so big that now there are so many coaches out there. Anybody you're talking to has far more coaches on their page than more than likely, far more coaches than you recognize. You might think, oh, they might have another they've got a lot. And those coaches, there are a lot out there that just lead 100% with sales, and they're just promoting sales, and it's just promotion and promotion and promotion. And people get way turned off by it. And it drives me insane when people just lead with 100%, look, I'm just going to sell this to you, and that's my game, and I'm going to show you all on my page how I do this. Like, hey, I get it. We've all done that as new coaches. Everybody goes through that time. But once you recognize that it's not about that and it's truly about sharing value, that makes everything different. But we have to understand that a lot of people see that stuff, and even though we understand that it's different than that and that the programs are effective and everything is so beneficial and it all works really well, a lot of other people don't know that. All they see is they've got 4 coaches on their timeline that all are promoting, right? And everybody's promoting, and then you're doing this one random thing that's not promoting, but hey, I'm going to put it all into this category of promotion, and because it just happens to have the same name. So we have to kind of get past that. And the way we do that is by adding value through all those posts and by letting them see that, hey, we're not all about sales. And a lot of that is just through being strategic about how and when you're sharing things, but sharing it from a standpoint of, hey, look, I'm sharing what these things have done for me. I'm not telling you like what you're going to get out of an accountability group. I'm going to tell you what I have gotten from being in an accountability group, or what this person has received from being in an accountability group, and all these, and when we talk about, the challenge group and the health bet and how amazing that's going to be, those are very strategic times based on when people are going to be, when we're going to have eyes, right? We need to know when are we going to actually have eyes to be seeing this stuff, because we can share all day long, but if nobody's seeing it, then what's the point of us sharing? And we already know that Facebook loves to kind of control and change those algorithms. So only certain people see it certain times anyway, which is the reason for all of the live posts as well as the call to action written posts, the timing between them, so that it's not a call to action and an invite every day. It's a few days in between, but still gets enough of them out there in the next few weeks that people actually have a chance to see them all. So that's really what I wanted to do, just kind of give you guys some options. What do you want? Or what do you?
I was also gonna add a really good point, which I don't do, but I'm gonna start doing, is when you go live, it's okay to make a post about what you just went live about, because like he said, not everybody watches live. So if you're gonna do something about live, whatever, then do a post kind of giving a quick synopsis or whatever of what you just said, because people aren't always listening. So you're gonna provide value with a post that they can read. So just kind of wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely. So, babe, will you be able to type this up later?
If I ever get home, yes.
Okay, good. Because it'll take me like 6 days to type this up. It'll be already, the help desk will be starting. I'll be like, guys, here it loaded. You're good.
What I'll probably do is I'll put it in calendar format, because that might be easier. What I might do is put it in calendar format, because it might be easier that way. Like if you have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then say blah, blah, blah versus line. I don't know.
I literally wrote, that's kind of how I wrote it, except for not in the calendar, but I literally wrote it like Sunday. My handwriting is just so bad. I would have just
have a calendar, dude. Have a calendar.
I know. I got you.
Calendar.
I got you. So does anybody have any questions at all? Or are you guys, and I can share a couple other tips on what we're doing right before getting ready for the help bet as well. But before we kind of move on, does anybody have any questions at all regarding any of that? And I know it's a ton of information, so expect it to come in written form. But as far as just the strategic aspect of it, does anybody have any questions?
And for newer coaches that want to participate in the health bet, but you're afraid that you don't have enough people, first of all, even if you have like 2 people, that's enough for a challenge group. One person can be you and another person, doesn't matter. Yep. But if you want to, then, there's a lot of coaches on the team that would probably love to pair up. So, definitely put that out there. Like, hey, is anybody running a health bet that want to maybe go, co-coach together? Definitely throw that out there, because it would be
cold in their hair.
it'd be a really great resource for you guys to kind of play off of each other and learn, new ideas from each other. So.
Absolutely. Anybody else have any questions? I'll share a couple other things we're doing. Okay. So the other things that we're doing, if you have an ongoing accountability group currently, so we have Never Give Up. Jessica, I know you and Natalie and Megan, I think, have the.
I'm about to axe mine though.
Okay. Don't do that yet.
I'm going to move it.
No, I understand, but don't do that yet. But the reason that I say don't do that yet is one thing that really actually surprisingly did very well last health bet was reaching out to every single person in there. The people that legitimately, you have not spoken to, that were challengers. We had challengers that were a year and a half prior challengers that have not been active in the group at all, that all of a sudden you talk about the health pet and they're like, hey, wait, what's going on? So reaching out to all of them, going to your Coach Mobile and looking at all of the sent and started columns and getting all those names, writing those down. Those are people that you've already spoken to, that you sent a link to, that started the link, as much as even started the link and have not finished the link. Those are great people to reach out to and let them know, like in a private message. Also, as far as people that, so we do that, we're always, Deanna's always posting in Team Next or Team, in Never Give Up about, the next challenge group and hey, we've got this one going and the health bet where it's going to be great. So she posts a lot about that stuff. So she almost treats that like a Facebook page. I mean, it is, but like just like a normal, like that group of people, it's almost as though that group of people is just Facebook friends you've had. It's almost like forget that they were challengers at one point, because you never know why they stopped working out or what got them, like why they veered off. You have no idea. So that might just be that we have a tendency, I know I have a tendency to think that if somebody's not being active in the group, it's because they're over it. Right? They don't like the product or whatever. They didn't get it, and they're just kind of done. And that's a huge assumption, and it's an unsafe assumption. And it more than often is not the truth, right? It's just that life happened or whatever. They fell off, but they're waiting to get back on. So kind of revisiting that is definitely a really, really, really good avenue to kind of go down and start kind of picking from those people. If you don't have a larger group or something like that, just going back to everybody that you've invited up to this point, everybody that you've spoken to, everybody you've built relationships to, and just letting them know. Even the people that said, hey, I can't afford it, or money is tight and all that stuff. And I know a lot of people hear that. Letting them know, hey, I know that we talked and I know that money was tight last time. I just wanted to let you know that, this, it's crazy. We're actually going to be earning money doing this. So I don't know if that was changing anything for you, but I just wanted to give you a heads up, and it's going to be a super fun group. And, this is what's up and So in those scenarios, just letting them know. Also, Jessica, for instance, in your group where and I don't know why I didn't even ask, right? So I don't know why you wanted to ask it, but I can assume it's probably, they don't get as much traction as some of the other groups, and you kind of feel like, or what?
We just started ours kind of, early on. We dumped a whole bunch of people in there that hadn't ever been in a group. And now that we're growing, it's like Natalie's going to end up with her own, forever group, and we have all these kind of mixes. So I've been trying to figure out how, because I'm pretty much the only person that posted it. I mean, like literally, like the only person that posted it. As much as I love my posts, I am posting there. I'm posting to my challenge group. So I think the way I'm going to try to shake it up is go in there, and we will reach out. We are good about reaching out to those people. We make sure we do. We're going to reach out to all of them, and I'm going to go live, and I'm going to tell them that I want to support them, and I am going to move my group into the Challenge Tracker app, and that I'll be happy to help them from here on out, and that their coaches will be helping them. And we're just going to kind of retool it a little bit. Because, I mean, it's literally, we're all doing different groups. It's just me posting in there. Me. And I don't want them posting and you know what I mean? I want my coaches to focus on their groups.
Are you referring to a closed Facebook group or your challenge app group?
Yeah, you know how Justin and they have Never Give Up. I have one like that we started, last year, and it's just, I think it's a good way for us to kind of clean house and also get in touch with those people personally and be like, man, if you've been enjoying that, I want to keep helping you. Let's find out how we can best do that. I don't know. It might not be a good idea, but when it kind of came to me the other day, I was like, this is kind of going to help my coaches out too, being able to get their own, be the leaders of their own forever group or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there probably. I'm just going to let everybody know, like, if you don't see a lot of action here, this is why.
And one other thing, no, I totally hear where you're coming from. One other thing I think I know that I forget about, and I know that probably a lot of other people kind of forget about it too, is I don't know how often this has happened for you, but I assume more often than not, and if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to happen at some point. You're going to get people that are like, hey, man, I'm really struggling, and and I just don't know what to do, and I just can't. And they're in the challenge group, they're not really active in the challenge group, and it's just really like a mental struggle with themselves. And we all can recognize it, and it's the time where you want to just be like, just start doing the workouts then. Just like plug into the group, right? But it's hard to get people, I mean, like, you can't just do that with everybody. Some people that works, but a lot of people that doesn't work. But what I've found actually that does work for a lot of those people is it's the same thing that is why, like, I personally never had an issue with being accountable. I'll work out. Because it's such a habit for me, and I'm so habitual that I don't have a problem like keeping myself accountable to going to the gym or to working out or whatever. I'll do it anyway. But for Deanna, it was actually having people look to her to be a coach or for that accountability that created the accountability within her. She tells people that all the time. So offering those people that are having struggles, be like, hey, look, I'm not asking you to coach, right? Like, I'm not trying to get you, like, inviting your friends or anything, but why don't you just help me co-coach the challenge group that we're in? Just that by itself. And all that looks like is just you showing up and, working with me, you showing up every day, you posting, and kind of coach from a support and motivational standpoint. And maybe that will be enough. When people start looking towards you for that, a little bit of accountability, maybe that is what will shift your focus and create the accountability for you. And a lot of times that does two things. One, it helps them kind of see the light and helps them become more accountable. Two, if they're more accountable, they're going to get better results. If they get better results, then they're probably going to be more apt to want to actually share that with others. And if they've already been co-coaching in the group, they're probably going to want to be more apt to share that with others. So it just kind of makes it a little bit easier of a transition for them. And it's beneficial for them because it helps them kind of become more accountable like it did for Deanna. If we didn't coach, I guarantee you right now, if we weren't coaching, there's no way that Deanna would be as into fitness as she is right now. I guarantee you without question. There is no, even regardless of the programs. But a lot of times just saying, have you ever considered what I do as a coach? That can scare people away a little bit because it seems overwhelming. It can seem overwhelming. But if you're just saying, hey, help me out in this, stay a challenger, just start posting like this, then it's like, oh, okay. And it can kind of, break that. It's not quite as intimidating, and it allows people to be a little more accountable, and it works. So kind of try to work that aspect too. And it really all goes back to the whole idea that our goal is to give people good results. Like, that is our number one goal.
Or one really good thing that I've done with people, instead of just saying, hey, help me co-coach the group, it's like, hey, I was hoping you could do me a huge favor. I've got a lot going on Tuesday. I was wondering if you might be willing to step in as a co-coach and coach that day. And here's what it looks like. Here's kind of give them the tools, but not give them everything. Like, say, hey, share something that you've learned, share a tip that, has helped you, whatever. And then just, you can sprinkle just little things. Because I remember Elizabeth, a coach on our team, I remember asking her just to do one day, and she's like, I was going to tell you no because I was so scared. And she goes, but doing it gave me that confidence and really made me feel good and empowered me. So, not expecting them to do a ton of stuff, but give them just, kind of like kids when they're younger, you give them small little chores little by little, and as they grow, you give them a little bit more. And so it kind of gives them that confidence and makes them feel really good, and they really feel special that you thought of them and felt that they could step up, to help out.
Absolutely. And it's totally true. Anyway, it's not like you're pulling the wool over anybody's eyes here. Like, this honestly helps people. And it, like I said with Deanna, it absolutely changed her ability to stay accountable to it. And we know that, hey, if you do the programs and you stick to the nutrition, and that's the whole point of the group is, so whatever, it's about getting creative to get people results. So whatever it takes to get you results, that's my goal. And if that means inviting you to coach one day or whatever it is that needs to kick that in, then that's what we need to do, and recognize that that is our number one priority within this entire thing. If we focus purely on getting people good results with health and fitness and helping people reach their goals when it comes to the business side of this, if we focus on that 100% and not our own goals, even just that specifically, we will be successful in whatever our goals are. So that is really where that stems from. Does anybody else have any questions? I don't want to keep you guys on here all night. Does anybody else have any questions just regarding getting set up for the health bet and all that good stuff, or anything in general? Anybody? Anybody have anything they just want to say at all before I let you guys go? Go. Now all of a sudden everybody's coming up. Just unmute yourself and go for it.
I couldn't find my unmute button. So I thought I saw on Jessica V's page that it was January 2nd. So it is the 9th?
It is the 9th. I looked at the FAQs today, and it was the 9th.
Well, I thought I remember seeing that, and then I seen her post that, and I was like, maybe, well, she wouldn't post it wrong, so it must be the second.
I've heard a few of the top coaches. I think I heard at least one other on the Beachbody Champions page, which is blowing up with good videos right now, you guys. If you're not on the Beachbody Champions page, it's like a ton of, what's it called? National Wake Up Call. I don't remember what that's called now. But like Natalie said, but better. Anyway.
That's the best.
They were actually going to do a regular group on the 2nd and their health book group. So she might be doing something like that. She might be doing 2. Maybe she's doing a health bet group with her big group or something, with some of her coaches.
Or what some of them do is they'll start a week before the group starts. They'll do like a prep week. So a lot of people like to start the week before to kind of set people up.
Which only makes sense in my opinion. The reason for being is because guess what? Everybody's doing that Monday. That's when they're starting their diet. So instead of that lag or that slag of a week, that's how I personally am going to set mine up. It's going to be from the 2nd to February 9th. And make it a little bit longer. They don't need to know that. The reality is it's not necessarily a secret or anything like that. We're just going to start the new year with a bang. Boom, done.
Absolutely.
I did have a question outside of the health bet though. Can I ask that now or do you want me to wait?
No, go. What's up?
So I guess it's addressed to you, Deanna, and that is simply, I'm curious to know, is it really advised? I do see some of the top elite coaches that have their own Facebook page as well as a second page. Because the reality is that, I don't do this full time yet, but it will happen. But the reality is that it is kind of, not necessarily overwhelming. It's just like, what did I post here? What did I post there? Oh, oi. And it's not necessarily a schedule. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how I go. Cause I do Food Prep Live every Sunday and my audience continues to grow and I'm pulling people from this and that, but I don't know if it needs to be from my Why Not Fitness Center or that page, or if it should be my personal. I have no problem with being a public figure, none whatsoever. But I'm just kind of curious what is not necessarily recommended, but where do you or have you seen any difference in which or why, whether it's tax purposes or whether it's attention differences? Do you know what I'm saying? I know Foodie Fit does da, but there's so many other coaches that do both, and there's a lot of coaches that don't. And they're just as elite. So I'm kind of curious what your take is on that, if you don't mind sharing.
Right. So no, great question. So it is. It's personal preference. Like some top coaches will do both. Some do predominantly their personal page. Some people have what we call a like page or a business page. Some top coaches do strictly business. Like Foodie Girl Fitness is 100% on her like page only because she started because she was too embarrassed to share her journey. With that said, like pages take a very long time to grow. Facebook wants you, if you have a business page or a like page, they want you to pay for eyes to appear on your page. So you're not going to get the same traction that you would on your personal page. So what some top coaches do, and this is different, and this is actually what I do personally, is double post. And some people say don't double post because people are seeing it twice, but okay, I have like 7,000 likes on my personal or on my like page, but I have like 2,000 friends, so they're not all seeing it. If that makes sense. One of the advantages to having like page is you can pay for advertising, so you can reach a specific demographic. You could say, hey, I want to talk to moms between this age and this age that have kids that maybe work in this field or whatever. And so you can. Sorry, I think I'm talking really loud and you're just staring at me. And so, there's benefits to that, but people that are like with Foodie Girl Fitness, when she first started, she really struggled because the eyes aren't on that page. So I've had my Honest Fitness page for 2 years, and I understood that it wasn't going to be my main source to begin with. And so there's, you definitely don't get the traction that you would get on your like page. So I think it's whatever you want to do. Like if you want to start really kind of growing that, you can, and then just post whatever you're posting on your personal page. But I honestly wouldn't stress about it too much. But if you have the time, like, don't have that be your priority. But if you have extra time and you want to do that, then I would say definitely do that. But that's kind of different.
It's not really stressed about it. I just didn't know if there was a tax purpose reason, or you know what I mean. I think it probably will fall into line with under advertising. But then again, a professional CPA would be able to see that as well if you were to do that on your personal page. The reason I have that particular page is because that's where I promote my country heat a lot, that kind of thing. And I haven't really been active on it just because I don't know. I just, it's not necessarily overwhelming. It's just something that is,
I mean, there's definitely some benefits to it because you can kind of see what's going on, like the type of people that are looking. So you can say, wow, okay, well, the people that are actually viewing my page, what are they? Okay, well, they're women between this age and this age, and here's how much money they make. Yeah, and so that's really cool. But like I said, I've got 7,000 likes on my page, but one post may reach 200 people. I'm like, out of 7,000, you only send it out to 200 people, really? And so it's kind of weird. Whereas it's like on my personal page, I get tons of traction on the same exact thing. So it's awesome. But you can boost it and send it to specific people, that those specific eyes that you want certain people to see you're seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any questions or anything to want to say? Jessica, do you have something you want to?
I just wanted to give massive props to anybody here or that's listening to this recording about your before and afters from Court of Force and Country Heat. We saw so many great posts where, you guys were vulnerable and you put pictures of your backs and bellies and fronts. I mean, that stuff's hard. So, I think public people start to think that it's just so easy for all of us to post those things. And I know that for me, it's not, even if I'm proud of my results, it's still like, so proud of all of you guys. And I love Deanna's idea about let's share those. I don't know if we share our original post somehow to the group or what, but so that we can all, blast Transformation Tuesday for the next couple of weeks, like you guys were saying, or any day. But,
Exactly.
I think that's some great posts.
Absolutely. Yes. So we'll kind of end on that. Guys, if you have any sort of transformation posts or anything that you have posted or anything before in progress photos that you are willing to share, Team Next Generation, throw them in, post them in that page ASAP, so that we all can use them and shout you out, give you a little love, high fives, and all that great stuff. And we can use those to help kind of get ready for the health bet that's coming up. So everybody, I appreciate you all again so much. And you know where we're at if you have any questions. Otherwise, you guys all have a fantastic night, and we will see you guys all very soon. Bye, everybody.